Hello and welcome to the 48th episode of the Red Sox Unfiltered podcast. I am your host, Patrick Green, joined as always by my wonderfully talented co-host, Dave Latham. Dave.
How's it going, everybody? Our positivity podcast works. The Red Sox won 3 in a row, World Series back on.
Did you notice I introduced you as talented? I think that's the first time I've ever done that.
I mean, do you really need to? It speaks for itself.
It does, yeah. It's very omnipresent in this podcast. Also joining us is Chris Strozine, our lovely co-host and producer. So, Chris, say hi.
I'm angry
enthusiastically.
Today. No, I'm angry today.
Why are you mad? We just won 3 in a row.
Let me tell you a personal story, if I may.
Okay. Yeah, get it.
So, my wife's boss is like, hey, I have 2 tickets for you to go see the Red Sox tomorrow night, meaning Tuesday night. They're like front row, first base side, apparently. This is what I'm being told. And guess who's in a manager conference for 2 days for work?
Guess who's quitting their job?
I was like, so my conference is in Boston, and I was like, I think I might get sick at like 6 o'clock, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But I'm like, of all the days of the year, like, this doesn't happen. It happens once every 6 months that I have this 2-day thing. And it just happens to be that she gets these nice tickets, and I'm like, all right. Well,
does her company get tickets a lot, or is this like a one-shot thing?
It's just like a one-off thing.
Chris, I'm sorry.
Angry. I'm angry tonight.
You should put a sad trombone in front of this, too.
I could.
You could. I mean, you have that power. And back with us today, he's been a guest before. He writes for Red Sox Unfiltered, and he's a great Twitter follow. Perry, say hi.
Hello, everyone. I appreciate the Twitter shout-out, and I am less angry than Chris because the Red Sox have decided to win games.
But yeah, Perry, I don't know why I said you were a great Twitter follower. You obviously are, but drop your handle for the listeners if they want to find you.
I think it's at Dominici Perry, Dominici, for those not familiar with my last name. And you'll just see a lot of stuff that might make you laugh or just make you unfollow me.
Yeah. Great sale.
Great sale.
I'm humble. I know what I am.
So, obviously, last week we did our positivity episode when nothing was going well. The Red Sox were at the bottom of the barrel. Things looked like it was just heading to a black hole and nothing was ever going to get better. But then we dropped our positivity episode and we had this stupid optimism, even though it was really hard and kind of ironic. But it was still optimism nonetheless. And now the Red Sox, we don't want to take the credit for this, but we're going to take the credit for this.
Definitely should.
Definitely should.
I'm taking credit.
We're the reason we won the World Series last year. It's not a coincidence they won it the year we started the site.
No, and I think as long as we're in existence, which hopefully will be until, I'm saying 2085 is a good time to retire the site.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm probably not living until 2085.
All right, okay. Okay.
That's a dark way to start.
You got to go to the Tom Brady diet, Dave.
Fun fact, me and my fiance did try that. Like, we bought his book. We ate 2 meals, and they were so disgusting, we quit.
My dad actually does a variation of it.
I don't know how the man does it.
My dad lost 50 pounds doing it.
I don't know. It's absolutely healthy for you, but you either need to, sell your children to pay for the meals or just suffer. Yeah. And, I'll just die young.
Fair. That is a fair point. But yeah, these games this weekend, while they were very momentous, and I think they were obviously much needed, but they were all very close games. The first one was 2 runs. It was 1 run. It was 6-5 on Saturday, and then it was 4-3 extra inning win. Guys, I want to talk about this series a little bit. I want to get your general thoughts on it. So I'm going to start with you, Dave. What do you think this? What did you think that this is a sign of good things to come for the Red Sox? And what were you most impressed with and encouraged by in the series?
I do think this is a sign of good things to come because this team has so much talent. I don't think it's a 108-win team like it was last year, even if we start off on a good note. But I do think this team has what it takes to be one of the serious contenders in the league, and they're starting to show some signs of life. The best takeaway from this, I'd probably say it was the team's ability to continuously rally back and just kind of never say never, because the starters, they were fine by the most part, but the bullpen had its struggles. But despite that, the offense just kept on battling back. Chavis, of course, had his huge double, and I think it was Benintendi had the game-winning sac fly the other night. Yeah.
No, that's Vasquez. That was Vasquez, bro. Don't sleep
That
on
was
Vasquez had
Vasquez,
a
of
great
course.
series.
Yeah.
Christian Vasquez, the greatest hitter in baseball. How could I forget?
Not only did he do that, obviously, but he had the game-winning pickoff on Saturday, which was one of the coolest ways to end a game.
I don't know what happened, how he suddenly transformed into like peak Jorge Posada, but
Yeah, I mean, we were all reeling from the Blake Swihart, but we'll talk about that in a second. But then Christian Vasquez comes out and be like, "Hey guys, this is what I can do. I'm a Hall of Fame catcher, not Sandy Leone." And yeah, it's been fun to watch. He already has 4 home runs, which is like one more than he had all of last year, right? In the regular season.
and his season high is 5, so he'd be hard to not tie it.
Yeah, he's a good ape on April. What is it? 23rd when we're recording this. 22nd. I don't know.
I think it's 22nd.
Yeah,
Time
22nd.
goes by. Yeah. Okay. And then Mitch Moreland obviously hit a 7th home run. What about you, Chris? What were you most impressed by? Do you think that this is a sign of good things to come for the Boston Red Sox?
Sandy Leone fixed the Red Sox.
That's a very
Don't
good
even
take.
go there.
I had to go there. It showed the true colors that we were expecting going into the season, where you would get strong starting pitching, and then the bullpen would come in and be not a disaster, but shaky, definitely. But at least the offense was there to bail them out this time.
Yeah, and the bullpen was shaky, but there were times, like yesterday's game, outside of Matt Barnes, I think they went 6 innings of 1 earned run. Like, they pitched well. Marcus Walden had 2 innings, I believe. Ryan Brazier had another good inning. He struggled in Saturday's game, but Vasquez bailed him out. But, Barnes looks good. Brazier looks okay. Walden looks like the second coming. So, I mean, there's some good stuff in the bullpen going on right now, outside of Heath Embry, of course.
Yeah, and Thornburg.
Oh, yeah.
Got to mention the Thornburg.
Yeah, not letting you live that one down.
My
ever,
man T.
Chris.
Thorns over there.
Yeah, Perry, I don't know if you listened to our hot take episode, but Chris and I both came out with very controversial hot takes. Mine was that Heath Embry would have a better season, or a similar season, than Ryan Brazier, and Chris's was Tyler Thornburg would accumulate the most saves for the Red Sox in 2019.
Not looking good for us.
I declared
Not-
them both as blasphemy, so let that be on the record.
I think my take on the last podcast I was on is that Pedroia would have more than 1 home run, so that's not looking too great either.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that. I think it's more in the realm of possibility than our takes, probably. If Detroit ever comes back.
Yeah, if you can stay on the field for more than 2 games, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. What about you, Perry? Tell me your thoughts on this series, and what were you most encouraged by?
I do think this was a promising series for us, mostly because it was our most well-rounded series. It was a lot of times these losses early on were like, if the hitting was good, the bullpen was bad. If the bullpen was good, the starting pitching was bad. But in the Rays series, everybody was picking each other up. If we went down runs, the offense was able to combat that, or the starting pitching was good. Everything just seemed to be clicking. And, I mean, the Rays are a good team. They have great pitching, and we hit them well, and I think this is a good sign for things to come.
Yeah, I remember watching Friday's game, and it was early, and I think it was 0-0, and I looked, they had a camera angle. I was on the Rays broadcast, and it just showed the Red Sox dugout, and they were absolutely lifeless. Like, there was no smiles on the bench. I get it. I mean, it's not been a good start. And then they just turned it around like in the blink of an eye. And, I mean, still, they're 9-13. They've dug themselves in a hole, but this was a very encouraging sign all around. But speaking of Dustin Pedroia, I say we should talk about him real quick, because Dustin Pedroia obviously landed on the injured list, a 10-day IL with lingering knee problems. It's not as serious as once supposed, but this does have ramifications. Zui Lin was called up, so was Michael Chavis. Brock Holt's rehab assignment was cut short, and Eduardo Nunez was also placed back on the IL. So there's like a revolving door of second basemans right now. It's a carousel. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on Pedroia's injury and what this means for the second base position going forward. And I'll start with you, Dave.
So, Pedroia, we're at the point where any injury is a serious one. I don't care what they're telling me. The dude's had 2 years to get healthy, and he just hasn't done it. I'm at the point where anything he gives I take as a positive. But right now, I think your starting second baseman is Chavis and Lynn. Just plan on having that be the platoon for the rest of the year. I'm a big believer in Lynn, and Chavis obviously showed what he can do, and you can mask the defense, I'd imagine, because it's not going to be great. Lynn's a great defender, but the bat's not always there. But I think combined you can get decent enough production at second base where you'll be fine because the rest of the team's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really interesting because I think the Red Sox were pushing back initially on Chavis at second, but then he started Sunday, right? Sunday at second?
Yeah, originally it was going to be Chavis at first and third, but then I think the day that Holt's rehab assignment got cut short, Chavis started at second the next day. So I think the Red Sox are aware of the situation they're in.
Yeah, which makes sense. What about you, Chris? What are you thinking with the second base carousel, and what are you thinking about Pedroia's future?
I'm hoping that this doesn't spur Dombrowski to go get Ian Kinsler again at the deadline.
Oh, don't even.
We don't have a type of trade to dangle, do we? Who's our betray?
I'm sure they could find somebody.
Probably your best pure reliever's probably Lakins right now because Feltman's completely off limits, but Lakins isn't as good as Buttrey, and the wound is still too raw.
But I don't think Betray's allowed to run. Has he? Maybe
last I checked, he hasn't.
I don't think he has it. Yeah, I don't think he has either. So that's a win right there.
God, I hate that trade.
Me too. But in reality, with Dustin Pedroia, I still don't expect anything from him, and I never did. I just never thought that he's getting older, and unfortunately, I don't see anything. But for people that are saying, let's get rid of him, DFA him, whatever, you may as well just put him on the DL. You have to pay him anyway, or IL, sorry. You have to pay him anyways, so why not just let him hang out on the IL if he wants to? But to me, it's one of those things where I hope he comes back, but it's looking less and less promising.
Nice catch with the IL.
Hey, I got to be sensitive.
Yeah, but I think that it would just be disrespectful considering all that Pedroia's done if you just straight up DFA'd him at this point. And as you said, you're going to pay him anyway. If he's ever healthy again, I guess maybe there's a semblance of a player there, but it's not looking good. So we'll see what happens. Perry, what about you? What are your thoughts on this?
I like the idea of Chavis and Lynn doing the rotating door there because, I mean, why not? They're the future of the position. Eduardo Nunez isn't going to give you any more production than they are. Dustin Pedroia is never going to be back to what he was. It's just too many injuries at his age. And like we said, even though it's the smaller one with his cleat just getting caught in the dirt, it's that same knee that's been bugging him. And he just doesn't look like how he used to. It just comes with age. But I like the idea of having the young guys in there, see what they can do. And, I mean, Nunez isn't the future of the position, so let them play.
Yeah, well, I think we're all going to just do one big retweet on that. Pedroia, I obviously I think we all wish him well in his recovery and hope he comes back. But right now it seems like it's going to be Whelan and Chavis, and Chavis can hit the ball. So
he can.
I honestly would rather him take the majority of playing time at second. But there's also a way you can get him in. You can give Devers the occasional rest day at third. You can rotate Bradley out of the outfield, put Martinez in the outfield, put Moreland or Chavis at DH. So there are ways to implement Chavis on this team. It doesn't necessarily have to be as a starting second baseman, but that's obviously an option too. There was other big news this week, and we didn't get to talk about this either. This may be old news, but considering it was so surprising to a lot of Red Sox fans, I think this literally happened the day after we recorded the last episode, so like exactly a week ago. Blake Swihart was unfortunately DFA'd and obviously subsequently traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks for as well as international money for a minor league outfielder. It's sad that Swihart's going. I think he actually put something out on Instagram today to Red Sox fan, though I didn't actually see it. But yeah, guys, what were your thoughts on Swihart's departure? Do you guys stand with this move? I'm gonna start with Perry this time. Let's go the other side of the revolving door.
Finally,
I know, right?
I mean, Swihart's been mismanaged from the beginning. He was an excellent catching prospect, and we never got to see him in a full capacity. They had him playing second. They had him playing all over the field and just never put him in that catcher spot. And I think it was just poorly timed. If we did it earlier, we could have got more for him. But it's tough to see him go. I was surprised he was a odd catcher out. I thought he was the future there. And he seemed well liked. I saw something today, I think it was on Twitter. He was at the Veritex house saying goodbye to everybody, which is kind of tough to see. But Yeah, it's just been mismanaged like his whole career here.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting how close Jason Varitek and Blake Swihart are. Like, they hang out all the time, which, I mean, given their age difference, I mean, this is not that surprising, but that's cool.
And that's going to show some belief that Varitek has in him. I mean,
Exactly.
That's a great guy to get a recommendation from.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think, like, Varitek's worked in that front office, and Swihart was the budding, messiah catcher, so it obviously did not. I feel bad saying it didn't work out, but it didn't work out in terms of Red Sox. What about you, Chris? Swihart. This hurts you probably.
I'm angry.
Yeah. What were you more angry about, this or the ticket thing?
So, what ticket thing?
So you can't go to the Red Sox game because of your conflict?
That thing I just said like 5 minutes ago. I am probably more angry about the tickets than I am about Blake Swihart, but I'm still angry about Blake Swihart. I'm not mad in the fact that they let him go, because the dude deserves to play somewhere. He deserves a chance because the Red Sox never gave him a chance. I'm more mad about the comments that came out surrounding it and everything else. Basically, coming out of spring training, Dombrowski was quoted, I don't have it up in front of me, he was quoted as saying something along the lines of, hey, we all got together, had a conversation, and it was ultimately my decision, like saying, hey, I wanted Swihart on the roster, which means there was a split there, which I'm assuming means that Alex Cora didn't want Swihart on the roster and he wanted Sandy Leone. So I'm thinking either A, the pitchers complained, or Cora and the pitching coach were just so dead set against Blake Swihart that they were just like, you know what, we're really not going to give him a chance. Like 17 games or whatever, 17, 18 games, however many it was before he got DFA'd, that's not enough to assess anything. And I just think it's such a panic move to do that. And now that I think it's almost like we just took Blake Swihart and threw him under the bus. And that's what I feel like they were doing. And that's what I feel like maybe Alex Cora and the staff was doing, was just throwing Swihart under the bus because they could, and they didn't want him. But from the sounds of it, Dombrowski wanted him there, but either the players or management didn't want him there beyond Dombrowski. And that's kind of more what I'm mad about. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to echo that too. I think it was a total panic move. I mean, the Red Sox were obviously scuffling, and Sandy Leone was heralded by the rotation time and time again last year as the best, pitch handler of all time. And I could totally see that. I mean, when the rotation was going in a historically bad way, some of them were like, hey, we need to get Leone back here. But, I mean, it's ridiculous to assert that their success is contingent on Sandy Leone, because Chris Sale in Chicago didn't have Sandy Leone when he was a perennial Cy Young Award candidate. Nathan Eovaldi has been excellent before he got to the Red Sox. Rick Porcello has been the same guy he was on the Tigers as he was on the Red Sox. David Price has been a perennial all-star without Sandy Leone. So you have, evidence of all these guys thriving without Sandy Leone. So Swihart clearly is the better hitter, clearly the better player, not the better defender, but it just seemed like a total panic move. Yeah, I just think at some point it's like they're looking for somebody to blame, but why don't they just blame the pitchers? Dave said it before, a guy sets up, the catcher sets up on the outside part of the plate, and then all of a sudden the fastball's down the middle or up and in or wherever. And it's just, the catcher...
That's not the catcher.
Yeah, the catcher can't force you to throw the ball in the right place.
I mean, if you want to blame anyone, blame Alex Cora for clearly having the starters not ready for the season.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it, too. I mean, that was a weird spring training regimen they all had.
And catcher's ERA is the biggest lie on the planet. You want to know the difference between Sandy Leone and Blake Swihart? Swihart started 23 games since 2018 behind the plate. The starting pitchers have been Velasquez, Johnson, Pomeranz. I think he's only had 3 good starters, and that was 2 of Eovaldi and 1 of Eddie Rodriguez. He's never caught Taylor Price. I don't think he caught Porcello either, for that matter. So yeah, the record's going to be a little worse. The ERA is not going to be as great.
Yeah, no, it was obviously a panic move, and regardless of the Red Sox turning around, if the pitching starts getting better, and there are a lot of people tweeted about this, it's not going to be because of Sandy Leone reemergence. It's going to be because these pitchers are great, and they have just gotten into the scuffle. But speaking of these pitchers,
I got one more. I got one more.
Sorry,
I got another jab too. I got another jab.
All right.
So far,
Dave and Chris.
So far, I believe Sandy's caught 13 innings, and he's allowed 10 runs. So great job fixing it, Sandy. You're a goddamn mastermind.
All right, you go, Chris.
So I think Sandy Leone actually could challenge Chris Davis for that hitless streak.
Yeah,
might be something to watch.
It's not out of the question.
Might be something to watch.
If anybody's going to challenge Chris Davis, it's going to be Sandy Leone for that.
I genuinely think Rick Porcello is a better hitter. Like, not even as a joke.
Nathan Eovaldi will be out 4 to 6 weeks with, I think, what it is, a loose bones, right? I have no idea what that is.
Loose body.
Yeah, loose body.
body?
I keep seeing that. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And apparently they're taking the loose bodies out, which just sounds very interesting.
It doesn't sound good. Like,
no.
It's not. It seems to be minor, but it just doesn't sound good.
I wish I knew more about anatomy.
Me too.
Because I have no. I was saying loose bones, but yeah, a loose body makes just as much not sense. So, Eovaldi will be out 4 to 6 weeks, and yeah, we're going to have to talk about what the Red Sox are going to do in his absence. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of patch this up. Hector Velasquez has been the guy doing some spot starts recently, and he will pitch in Game 2 tomorrow because today's game, Monday's game when we're recording, has gotten obviously rained out. So what do you guys think of Nathan Eovaldi's injury, and how do you think the Red Sox are going to meander this? I'll start with you, Dave.
So obviously Eovaldi's injury is unfortunate, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be like a season-ruining type of thing. Eovaldi had a similar thing happen last year with the Rays where he missed 2 months of the season, but he said that the Rays were being cautious with him because he was also coming back from Tommy John. So I'm expecting him to be back in probably around 6 weeks is the likely time frame. And obviously from last year, we know that he's able to come back from something like this and just absolutely dominate. So it's an unfortunate setback, but it's not like this is ruining the rotation forever by any means. In the meantime, I think the best thing to do is roll with Velasquez as the technical fifth starter, but basically just use a bullpen game. I'd promote Mike Schwarren and have him and Velasquez basically team up every fifth game to hopefully take on about 6 innings and let the rest of the bullpen finish the rest of the game.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately what's going to end up happening, at least so far as Velasquez's more prominent role in the rotation, because he's done well as the sixth guy. What about you, Chris? What are your thoughts?
There is a camp of people that want the Red Sox to sign Keuchel. I am not in said camp.
It's not happening.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I am good with just riding with whatever you can throw out there until he's good to go. And realistically, I think this is what happens when you sign a guy for, 2 months of really good work. I think this is just kind of like it's not going to be like a reoccurring thing, but I think it's just something that people are going to have to deal with. And given his price tag, it's just going to kind of put a microscope on it. That's all. But I think it's fine. I think he'll be fine. So
Keuchel is ridiculous. I think that would obviously be way too much money for something the Red Sox don't really need, though. I mean, obviously the rotation's not doing very well right now. If you're going to sign a guy, which I'm not even a big advocate for. I mean, Gio Gonzalez just got released from his Yankee contract. I think that would be more interesting and more financially practical to pursue. But again, Voldy's not going to be out long, and you obviously need starting pitching depth. But that would be my thinking if I had to go from an outside source. But Mike Schwarren, 3.63 ERA, 2.62 FIP, and 4 starts in Pawtucket. He's done an incredible job, and I think that is better than what Gio Gonzalez can do in AAA. So, yeah, Mike Schwarren seems like a nice bet to be called up at this point.
Darwinson Hernandez is a dark horse, too, but I think he needs more time in the minors.
Yeah, that's another thought of who could come up. I could definitely see that, too. What about you, Perry? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Schwarren get some starts. He's been really great in AAA, but Velasquez has more experience. Maybe they could revolve them at the end. But yeah, the people calling for outside of the organization, it's just not going to happen. We don't have the money, especially for somebody like Keuchel, who's sitting out of playing baseball for wanting more money, which is not going to happen. But yeah, I like the idea of Velasquez back there. Maybe rotate with whoever you can bring up from the minors.
Fair point, and I think that this is obviously going to be the most practical route.
They still have open 40-man roster slots, I think.
How many?
They do.
Like 2, I think. Maybe 1 or 2.
2 sounds right.
2 sounds right.
Yeah, okay.
Someone Google it.
Is Marco Hernandez technically on the 40-man roster right now, or is he still on the
I think
60
he's
DL?
still on the 60
Yeah, I think he's
DL.
on 60.
Oh, yeah, Marco Hernandez is doing a little bit of rehabbing. That's pretty exciting. Are you guys ready? He can play second.
The Red Sox.
joking.
The Red Sox is just the most frustrating thing for me over the past couple of years. Is the Red Sox are constructed with so many middle infielders, and they can't find like one guy to just stay healthy and be there all the time. It's so frustrating to me.
Yeah, it's been hard to watch at second for the past couple of years with Pedroia injury. Okay, so let's do a little looking into the future before we get to the slew of Twitter questions that we have from 3 people, but three great Twitter followers. So my first, I want to ask you guys, what are you guys expecting out of this upcoming series against the Detroit Tigers? We got a doubleheader tomorrow, and then the concluding game on Wednesday, I believe. What are you guys looking forward to most in this series? I'll start with you, Chris. Let's do chaos. This has never happened before. Let's go in the middle. Chris, you go first.
I hate fun. But I'm expecting, because the Tigers are name like 10 guys on the Tigers. You probably can't. I can name at least like 3 or 4, maybe 5. I don't want to bet because you're a loser who just watches baseball all the time. So,
all right, I'll retract.
Wait. Let me see if I can do it. All right, this is gonna be good for everybody listening. We got Miguel Cabrera. That's one.
Okay.
Is his name Matt Boyd?
Yeah, Matthew Boyd.
Yeah, he's a pitcher.
I don't think I could do 10.
Nicholas Castellanos. That's a guy.
Is he still there?
He's still there.
He is still there.
I only know that because he's on my fantasy team. That's like it. That's all I know.
Let me help you out a little bit. We got Shane Green, Joe Jimenez. You got Candelero at third base. Can't pronounce his first name,
That's
but
the guy.
He's good. You got Goodrum, Nico Goodrum in the outfield. I don't know if he's active, but he was there. You have Jordan Zimmerman in the rotation. Mike Fiers is gone.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him. He's still alive.
Jordan Zimmerman almost pitched. He had a no-hitter going through 7 of his first start, I think, right? Something like that?
Sure.
Either way.
Take your word for it.
Either way, the Tigers
Jose
are the...
Iglesias?
No.
No, he's a free agent, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's signed.
Yeah.
Who's catching for them?
Me.
Jared Saltalamacchia.
No, he's retired.
I know that's not true.
He was for like 2 minutes last year.
So, either way, just the fact that we're all pretty big into the baseballs here, and we can't name people on the Tigers, I'm expecting, I think it's a 4-game series, I think, and I'm expecting at least 3 out of 4. And anything else, I'd feel like that's a failure. That's what I would feel
absolutely.
like, especially coming off of that sweep.
Mm-hmm. Dave, do you echo those thoughts, or do you have your own independent thoughts that you would like to voice?
Retweet.
Good use of the retweet.
Hey guys, before we continue on here, there's a guy named Buck Farmer on that team.
Buck Farmer. Wow, Tyson Ross.
What a strong name.
What a strong
Get
name.
Spencer Turnbull.
Grayson Grinder's their catcher, by the way.
Drew Verhagen.
They have.
You're just making up names now.
That's what it feels like.
These are real. Oh, they have Josh Harrison.
Yeah,
Remember they got him.
Oh, poor Josh Harrison.
I know. God.
Detroit.
And the sad thing is Detroit has a better record than the Red Sox right now. And
Yeah.
we are eating them alive. It won't last. I don't know what this Red Sox season is going to look like and when it all said and done, but I can guarantee you they will have more wins than the Tigers. I will put my life on that. I don't want to put my life, but I will put something on that. I will put my JBJ in flames, my JBJ jersey in flames, if the Tigers have more wins than the Red Sox.
All right, I'm
It'd be the
notating
first time he
Hold
ever
it to
caught
it.
fire in his career.
Yes, you would.
Oh, ouch. I didn't like that comment, Dave. Yeah. So, what about you, Perry? Do you want to retweet that, or you got some stuff you're looking forward to?
I mean, retweet. Shout out to Dave Dombrowski for rooting the Tigers, and let's just get some solid starts and hopefully get some wins.
Twitter questions. We got, again, three questions. We have, actually 11 questions.
3 askers, but
3
100 questions.
They asked a lot of questions. I put
Very
questions
inquisitive
in
fans.
plural. Yeah, they are. So we're going to start with the one person who only has one question, and this is Resparkled, at Resparkled, and I think, at Resparkled.
That's an awesome
There's an
name.
underscore. Yeah, no, they're very active on our Twitter page. We love them. They're great.
I don't care about that. They have an awesome name.
They got a diamond emoji next to their next to their name too.
Whoever you are,
cool.
Resparkled, I love you.
Cloud, avatar. So their question is Chris's favorite question. So we have to start with Chris. Where's Kimbrel? Smiley face.
No, get out of here. All right, I don't love you anymore. I'm taking it back. No.
For context, Chris has refused to talk about Craig Kimbrel.
Next question, please.
No, we have to answer this. Where's Kimbrel? Is he coming to Boston?
He's in free agency right now. Nobody wants to sign him because he costs too much money. He's an idiot. So let's move on.
Why didn't he come to the ring ceremony, Chris?
Because he's an idiot. He doesn't want to be a distraction. I don't know. This is just dude, what are you doing? I think
he could be on the show.
At this point, he messed it up. That's where
Strong
I'm at.
words.
Blame is on him. Craig Kimbrel, come fight me. You'll win.
Perry, where's Craig Kimbrel?
On his couch, watching the Red Sox bullpen do just fine without him, and I think it will stay that way.
Do you think he actually sits there and watches Red Sox games in his free time?
No,
I'd
no
be
chance.
surprised.
No chance. I mean, the guy's
Yeah.
the guy was on an episode of something I watched one time. That was very generic, and I'm just not going to pursue this thought. Let's just end it where it started. Dave, where's Craig Kimbrel?
I don't know, sitting in his mansion, enjoying his millions and millions of dollars.
Good one. You seem good at this. Dave, where's Waldo?
Bunch of books.
Yeah, all right, dude, 2 for 2. Yeah, I'm going to say Craig Kimbrel will not be joining the Red Sox ever again, probably. That someone's going to get hurt. He's reduced his asking price. Someone will probably sign him, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right, moving on.
I'm thinking June.
June.
Yeah, because then he won't have draft pick compensation.
Oh, yeah, that would actually be very enticing. And I mean, at this point, why not just wait till then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Chris, you're a smart man.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Beantown at Lahner, Lahner, Jackson, Jaxon, has 4 questions for us. First one is Sox bullpen upgrade, meaning are they going to get an upgrade, I think? Dave, are they going to upgrade somehow?
At the deadline, they'll probably add an arm or two, but right now I think they're good with what they got. There's a bunch of really talented guys in the minors that I wholeheartedly believe in. Feltman's progressing pretty well, and Hernandez, if you really want to give up on him as a starter because he's still walking a lot of guys, you could do a hell of a lot worse than Barnes, Brazier, Feltman, and Hernandez as your final 4 guys. That's a really good setup right there. So we'll probably get another arm, but by the time the end of the year rolls around, we'll be in pretty decent shape, I think.
That was a really nice answer.
Cut
Chris.
Thornburg.
We can all get behind that. That would be an upgrade in itself. Chris, what about you? Sox bullpen upgrade, question mark?
Nope.
You think they should stay pretty?
Yeah, because we wanted them to do it last year, and Dombrowski's probably at this point just you know what? I don't even care anymore about the bullpen. That's really what I feel like is going on.
Well, I can see that. What about you, Perry? Sox bullpen upgrade, question mark?
I mean, if anything, trade deadline. It's been pretty good so far, and it is the strongest part of our farm system, so I don't see any reason to make a move right now.
Yeah, and obviously relievers are the most fungible of any positions, and you can really find strong relief additions in the minors. And as they've all noted, we have it's probably the strongest part of the farm system. So I don't think it's a pressing need whatsoever.
That's my favorite word that you use, by the way.
What? Pressing?
Fungible.
Fungible?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good
Thank
word.
you. Yeah, I'm an English major, man. We learn words like fungible. So we just answered this one earlier, and it was what's the move for second baseman? So I'm going to cross that one out. Great question, though, if we had not already covered it. His next question is, or I'm not going to assume the gender. Their next question is, are they finally out of this slump?
We kind of went over that, too.
Okay. All right, this one we have not covered.
Beantown's failing us today.
Sale gonna figure it out, starting with Perry.
I really hope so. It's just the command right now, and he's out there after every game saying how much he sucks, and he's definitely like the most hard on himself. So hopefully that helps out. But it is weird to see that the velocity still isn't there. He didn't pitch much in the spring training, and it did look better in his last start, but it kind of faded towards the end, and he still got shelled. So it's really just location right now. He's got to figure out, but I think he'll do it.
As Chris Sale said regarding if he's going to get better in the next start, he said, "We better effing hope so." I almost dropped the F-bomb.
Nobody's harder on Chris Sale than
Chris
Chris
Sale.
Sale.
We don't have SEC rules here.
We don't. So that's good. Yeah, Chris Sale. Chris, you're a fellow Chris. Give me your Chris input.
Sandy Leon's here. He's going to fix it for him.
So is Sandy Leon going to be Chris Sale's catcher for the rest of the season? Is that what's going to happen?
I think it's going to be Sale and Porcello. Pretty much.
Didn't John Lester have a special catcher at one point?
Yeah, David Ross.
David Ross. Oh, yeah. I mean, but David Ross could actually hit a little bit, too.
Not really.
He ended his career.
Yes, he could.
The last at bat of his career was the game winner in the World Series.
David Ross could hit. There was one season, like his first season with the Red Sox, I believe, and he was like 100 WRC plus or close to it.
I'm going to look.
And I will say that is definitively better than Sandy Leon.
Which is not saying a lot.
So his
still better.
His actual batting average and stuff like that, not very great. 216, 184, 176, 229 for the last 4 years of his career when he was in Boston and Chicago as John Lester's personal catcher.
85 WRC plus in 2013, which, for a catcher, that's about average, and so much better than Sandy Leon. 71 in 2014, meh. And then he went to the Cubs, and who the hell cares at that point?
I care deeply.
You care deeply.
John Lester does.
Yeah, John Lester.
Speaking of personal catches, I don't know if you remember, I think it was the Blue Jays when R.A. Dickey went to the Mets, or he went from the Mets to the Blue Jays. They literally packaged Josh Toll with him.
Yeah, Josh Toll. Yep.
Josh Toll, because he was the only one that could catch a knuckleball. Which, with a knuckleball, I understand why you would need a personal catcher, at least more so than other guys. Yeah, that was interesting. And
Tim Wakefield gave Doug Mirabelli a nice long career.
Yeah, that too. Sandy Leon is literally here because of Chris Sale, and Chris Sale only, and maybe Rick Porcello, because Rick Porcello loves him.
He's here more for Porcello than he is for Chris Sale.
Absolutely.
I was listening to the Baseball Reporters today with Tony Maz. It was like an old one because I'm a masochist like that, and he mentioned how Chris Sale had basically the same statistics with Sandy Leon as he did with AJ Pierzynski. And A.J. Pierzynski was not a great catcher. So good pitchers will figure out ways to pitch, regardless of the catcher. So I think it's more Porcello than it is Chris Sale. So I am in Tony Maserati's camp. That doesn't happen very often. So shout out Tony, not that you're listening to this.
I was totally listening.
If he is, man, call me up.
Drop your number.
No.
No. Speaking of it, can I just go on a diatribe against AJ Pierzynski?
Go for it. This is what we're here for.
They signed him in 2014, right? That was just so unnecessary, first of all. Saltalamacchia was fine. Pierzynski was washed up, clearly. And Pierzynski was just a jerk. I just did not enjoy his presence at all.
Nobody did.
I think wasn't he just an all-around, everybody was like, this guy's a douche?
Yeah, he is, and he was. And he's on, he at least recently was on Fox Sports, or he was doing some baseball announcing. And, I have just this weird contempt for AJ Pierzynski. Never met the guy, but he just came across as so callous and so jerky.
By all accounts, that's exactly who he was.
Just a locker room nuisance.
And he did not make up for it on the field.
Exactly.
No.
It's not even good. That's the thing. Okay. So our next batch of questions, and we got 4. I don't know how many are relevant, but the first one's already not relevant. But this is from Red Sox fan, and they got a little tidal wave emoji next to their name. I don't know why I'm talking about their emojis. It's at RecDNA. This is another really good Twitter engage follower because they've been following us for a while and they've been engaging with us. So shout out to them and thank you for your question. This one is a fun question. It's going to be directly addressed to Chris. Why is Thornburg still on this team? He didn't pitch to a single batter in the predominantly bullpen series versus Rays. That's a good question.
My man T. Thorns and Alex Cora have a wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing that when everyone's like, we need a bullpen arm, they're just going to like unleash the T. Thorns around the trade deadline, and him and like Durbin Feltman are going to team up and become like awesome. That's what's going to go down.
Is this like your
No, I'm
like
just
fantasy fiction?
I'm just like writing it myself.
Yeah, right. You should do like a narrative story for the Red Sox Unfiltered. Talk about the chronicles of Thornburg and Feltman.
That's where I'm here for.
I expect a draft by Friday.
I will work on it.
Can't wait. What about you, Dave? Why is Thornburg still on this team?
There is no good reason because he's a terrible pitcher and he needs to get off because he's worse than the guys in Double-A. Get him off my team and I never want to see him again.
Perry, why is Thornburg still on this team?
So Dave Dombrowski can try to prove himself right with that trade, but he will not because Tyler Thornburg sucks and he's the odd man out, and yeah, he should be out of here.
Yeah, I mean, like if he's given at least like Heath Hembry level of production, maybe somehow Dave Dombrowski can feel somewhat okay. No, he can't. He'll never feel okay about that.
I miss Travis Shaw.
I mean, we'd have a second baseman right now, a locked-in second baseman. Though Travis Shaw is struggling right now. I don't know if anyone's keeping up with him.
Yes,
it's doing better than Thornburg.
Honestly, it's that bad right now. To be honest,
yeah, I don't.
It's a struggle bus in Milwaukee.
Yeah, man.
He's getting dropped in fantasy league.
Here's the other prospects, too.
Yeah, that too. But we don't like to talk about that. Next one, and we kind of talked about this, but not really in depth. And let's start with Perry here. Should Sox face reality and trade for a second baseman? This is a interesting question.
I'd say give it time with what we have now. Wait till June. See if Chavez can play there, if his glove is okay, or see if Lynn can pick up the hitting. But, I mean, yeah, if not, try to make a move. It's been a constant position of just not having anybody there since Pedroia's been down. So I think that is the weakest link right now, and probably do something about it.
And there's a very good possibility, as we said before, that Ian Kinsler is available come deadline time. So he's on a one-year deal in San Diego.
Bring him back.
I mean, look, the Red Sox were World Series champs when he was on the roster, and they're obviously in next to last place right now. I'm not saying he's the X Factor, but I'm not saying it at the same time. Do
you want me to just go on a tirade because you're going down the right path?
A little bit. That's the thing, Doc. Chris, what about you? Should they trade for a second baseman?
They got 6 guys on the 40-man roster that should, in theory, be able to cover one position. In theory. So, no. And,
I say no, too. And I think if you think about it, the Red Sox don't really have the prospect capital to really move for a significant upgrade at the position. They have guys who hopefully at least one of them can be average, and having Brock Holt back would probably be the most ideal route. But, Chavis and Lynn hopefully will hold the position. Dave, what about you? Is a trade looming for this second base position?
No, we can get by with what we have, because if you look around the market, I know you brought up Kinsler as a joke, but if you're looking for a guy with overrated defense and a bat that can maybe make contact every now and again, when you get lucky, you have Zhu-Wei Lin already. What's the point in trading for Zhu-Wei Lin, but more expensive, older, and more prone to breaking?
Yeah. So this final question for Red Sox fan, and Dave, I don't know if you actually scanned the questions before this episode.
I did not.
This one is going to probably hurt you more than anything you've ever heard. This final question is: send Devers down to AAA to work on his D. Dave, go ahead.
I'm hanging up. That's stupid and dumb. No.
Do you think the possibility that Chavis comes out and performs and he takes over the third base?
No, Chavis isn't a good enough defender to justify having him play over Devers. He's probably a better glove, but he's not nearly as good with the bat. The only guy whose glove would necessitate a new position would be Dahlbeck, but he's still a ways away if he even makes the majors at all. So, no.
No. No. Chris, what about you? Are you in no land too, or
I'm in no land.
why are you in no land?
Because it's stupid.
Okay. Perry, what about you? Are you in yes land?
I am in no land, but my favorite part about Devers Love is that he makes like challies very easily, and then he just lets the easy ones go right through him.
He makes the amazing look routine and the routine look atrocious.
It's very entertaining. Like, you never know what you're going to get. So keep him around. Keep us entertained.
He's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Oh,
You never
nice.
know what
Nice.
you're going to get.
Oh, nice Forrest Gump reference right there. That's what the listeners needed to complete this episode.
I hear a train.
I hear a train too.
Here comes the train. Choo-choo.
Welcome
Not
to
me.
Columbia, South Carolina,
Columbia.
where you hear a train every 10 minutes and get stuck behind them every 10
Oh,
minutes.
wow. That must be fun.
Oh, that's the best, especially when you're going to class. The best.
You have to wait, like there's a train tracks on campus?
Oh, I got some classes kind of far away, but yeah, they're like right on campus, and it's the worst.
That sounds awful, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, nothing you
There's,
can
like,
do except wait.
Probably no way to circumvent that either.
Nope.
Oh, wow. Okay. Also, going back to Devers, he has yet to hit a home run. We're still on Devers home run watch, but I mean, he's done fine. He's WRC plus is 87, which is very close to what it was last year at 90. He hasn't hit for as much power, but I mean, his defense is again, like it's very erratic, but it's not the worst in the world.
And everyone who's like claimed for Chavis or Dahlbeck, Devers is younger than both of them. Give it time.
Yeah, that's weird to think about. But it's
That
true.
is so weird.
And to be fair, Sandy Leone hasn't hit a home run either.
Oh, don't even compare those two.
I don't think Ian Kinsler's hit home run either. If we're going down that route.
Yeah. No
JBJ
surprise.
has not hit a home run.
Oh, JBJ is, I think, the worst WRC plus in the league right now. It's been brutal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
there's
worse
been a
than
lot of
Sandy.
damage going on. Yeah, dude, I don't even know. I think it's like negative 15 right now.
Oh, that's
Last I
bad.
checked. He put a sexy bunt on yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, that was a good ball.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Nice
Honestly,
small
it's probably
ball
his
action.
best contact of the season.
I will objectively say that it is. Having watched exclusively every single JBJ at bat, that was the best one. All right, so yeah, that's going to conclude it for those Twitter questions. That's going to conclude it for this episode, actually. So, guys, before we go, let's dish out some departing thoughts. Dave, you always start with the departing thoughts, so I'll let you keep this tradition going. What's your departing thought?
All right, so departing thought, I've accepted that Darwinson Hernandez is destined for the bullpen, whether I like it or not. So Tanner Huck is a starter. He pitched today, 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, didn't allow a run, and the only reason it was only 5 innings, the game got rained out after 5. He's fantastic. This is his second in a while, and look for him to climb up a lot of prospect rankings because he's really good.
Retweet. Chris, departing thought.
I'm still trying to figure out how they got on the Matt Barnes Express. The conductor's being a little rude and won't let me on.
I was selling you tickets off season long.
Yeah, well, back the train up, and I'll just jump on. I'll get on the caboose.
No, man,
Hold
the
on.
caboose is way too far gone now.
Yeah.
The whole train.
Well,
It's in a different country.
Have fun on the broken remains of the Tyler Thornburn wagon.
Not a fun wagon to be on.
as
Who's
long as
pushing
it's
the
not
wagon?
rusty. As long as it's
I
not
don't even
rusty,
think
I'm
it was
good.
pushing. Oh, it's rusty. It
Oh,
is
man.
incredibly rusty.
Oh, God.
You have to get a tetanus shot.
I gotta
My
make sure I'm up
God.
to date.
Not Dave. Perry, departing thought.
I am optimistic right now. I think we looked our best again in this Rays series, and I think Chris Sale bounces back this week, and that'll be the one thing that clicks, and we start winning some games here.
That's a good one. Mine is going to be about Christian Vasquez because I know we touched on this, but we haven't given this man enough love. Guy's got a 491 slug right now, and people can say, that's not going to, remain consistent. His highest slug before is 404 in a season. But his BABIP right now, you would think, he has a 73 WRC plus total because he's not getting on base and not hitting for a lot of contact, but you would think his BABIP is probably high. He has a 189 BABIP. A 189 BABIP. His career BABIP is 288. So if you know anything, that's going to go up, and a lot of these balls that he's hitting are going to start falling for hits. So there's more offensive production there that has been untapped. So Christian Vasquez, I've been very impressed with what you've done so far, and I think there's more to come. I don't think he's going to hit I think he's going to clear 10 home runs this year. I mean, he's already on a good pace, but I don't think he's going to like clobber a 450 slug. But I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be more like the 2017 version of Christian Vasquez. So that's exciting for me. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the 48th episode of the Red Sox Unfiltered podcast. Please follow us on Twitter at @BoSoxUnfiltered and check out all of our recaps and all of our material on RedSoxUnfiltered.com. We have a recap for every game. We have a lot of great analysis from a variety of writers, including the 4 people you have heard speak today. Additionally, you can follow us on Twitter at @BoSoxUnfiltered, like the Facebook page. And yeah, you can listen to this podcast on a variety of platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud. And if our wonderful affiliate, The Grueling Truth, decides to put this on their many platforms, you can also listen to this on iHeartRadio and YouTube. So that's pretty neat. There are many places to listen to us, so please listen to us on at least one. And if you want to do multiple ones, I don't know why you would want to listen to my voice for that long, but that's up to you. But yeah, let's go Red Sox, guys. We're starting a 10-game homestand. It's going to start with Detroit. There's a lot of momentum going towards the Red Sox, the defending World Series champions right now, and I'm excited to see what the record will be with the next time. Go Red Sox. Bye. Thanks for listening.
We really need to just do like a blooper reel.
I'm gonna create a blooper section.
All right. The wife made the
back.
bottle. She left. She's going to take care of the angry child. And maybe the cats will stop going in and out the door.
So you know what that means? That means it's departing thought time, right?
Ah, whatever.
Do I have to start my bit over?
You're going to have to.
All right. I felt really good about that one. All right, give me the thumbs up.
I can't give you a thumbs up.
Give me just say
Can't
the
see the
words
thumbs.
thumbs up. Give me the words thumbs up.
What is going on?
What is going on?
Yeah.
All right, Chris has been doing that creepy Perry chant since I told him you've been coming on. So.
I like it.
Is that like an
shit,
illusion?
Chatham's
Is that a pop
doing good
culture
too.
reference?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I just have many fans.
You just have a lot of fans. Chris
Yeah.
is chief among them.